the championship. In Clonus in July of 1990, Armagh lost by a point to Donegal, and they've been quietly ticking over in the league. They finished 5th in Division 1. Today's favourites, perhaps?
Armagh's approach to this match is that it's first or Ulster championship. It's a game to be won. It's a derby game, so I mean the form book goes out the window, and we'll go to Newry fit and ready for action.
Would James McCartan be able to exert his influence?
Green got the ball, crossfield ball down, Bruce Rogers, he put a great through ball in, and I simply just turned and was thinking about passing for a second, and then just decided to kick it, and fortunately went in off the crossbar. Possibly it could have come out, but it went in, and we were back in the game.
Down lost to Armagh eventually in last year's semi-final. In those games and in the league, there was all the aggression you'd expect from a derby match.
People do talk a lot about the rivalry, and that gives the game possibly an added spice. But I would say that both teams are looking on Sunday's game as a first round championship game. Who you're playing against doesn't really matter. If you win, you're through to the next round. If you lose, you're out. And who you happen to beat or who you happen to lose to won't be of much consequence after the game.
We'll also feature the Dublin-Meath replay. A week ago at Croke Park, the two sides played out a most enthralling draw, with Meath equalising right at the death. Back in Ulster, Down Armagh was the minor game. Down lost in the final to Derry a year ago. Armagh were beaten in the first round by Tyrone, and it's 23 years since they won the Ulster title. In hurling, the 89 All-Ireland champions Tipperary played Limerick, who have lost to Tipperary in each of the last 3 Munster semi-finals. Our competition proved quite difficult. The questions weren't easy. Plenty of the answers were wrong. But initially, the centre of our attention is the Marshes in Newry, with this year's Down Armagh Championship game contain the pure drama that permeated last season's semi-final. Down were looking for a first Ulster title since 1981. Gary Mason, Peter Withnell and Brendan McKernan were the new faces. McKernan in defence alongside his Burren clubmate and Down captain Paddy O'Rourke. And then there was the experience of Liam Austin in his 14th Ulster Championship campaign. In the Armagh side, only Brendan Tierney and Mark Grimley held the same positions as they occupied 12 months ago. 3 men made their championship debuts: Damian Horisk, Jarlath Burns and John Rafferty, who was expected to do a specific marking job on James McCartan. And what influence would Neil Smith bring to bear from, for him, the strange position of centre half back? The commentary team as usual, Peter McGinnity and Jimmy Smith.
35 years ago, Armagh beat Down here in the Marshes, and since then Down have gone on their way and won 10 Ulster titles and 3 All-Irelands. Last year we had 2 tremendous clashes between these sides. Today we'll just have to wait and see. The conditions at Newry, very treacherous, a lot of rain before the game, and conditions underfoot, as I said, will lead to a lot of slipping and a lot of loose play. We start off with a free to the Armagh men. It'll be taken by John Toner just inside the 45-metre line. The wind at Newry here is blowing from right to left, and certainly it favours the team in orange. Didn't really raise that, but there's a clear indication of the conditions.
Michael Greenan is the only man who knows what happened there, really. That was inside the big square. He seemed to indicate a fist, but John Toner made no mistake from the simple 14-yard free anyway.
Cleared on by Ross Carr. A lot of slipping and sliding. That sliding on that occasion was a sliding tackle. That's a foul. So another free for the Down men.
It's going to be very difficult for Michael Greenan to differentiate today between what is a sliding tackle and what is a slip going into the tackle. On his shoulders be it.
Ross Carr being instructed to move the ball back to where the foul was committed. Checks with the referee as the rain cascades yet again in Newry. Difficult position even for a left-footed kicker, but that was judged to perfection. Good long relieving clearance, well collected by Austin. Forces his way, and was eventually fouled by the midfield pairing, and Mark Grimley fouled him after the original foul had been committed, so the ball was moved up. Nice ball by Ross Carr, floated in well against the breeze. Mickey Linden, still Linden, there's McCartan. Oh, this is certainly a chance for Down. With nil, and we've a penalty.
He didn't hear the whistle, he keeps playing, the whistle is gone at this stage. He ends up getting the ball into the net, but Michael Green had already awarded the penalty.
There's the man entrusted with this very important penalty. Linden takes the shot. Oh, what a penalty. Brendan Tierney had no chance.
He sent it the wrong way and hit the ball very hard, a combination which was nearly impossible for Brendan Tierney to deal with. Side of the foot, but struck with power.
Jim McConville couldn't hold it. Goes off Damian Burns. Sideline to Armagh.
It's a terrible day to be a late forward, Jimmy. Slipping. First contact's not good. Ball goes to the ground and then you get pushed out of the way.
Well, there's a super kick. And that is a magnificent score by Martin Toy.
The wind is helping Martin Toy here. This is the direction it's blowing, but he still had to get the ball up there and on target. What a score from a sideline ball.
And now it's O'Kane. And towards Horish, well collected on his chest. That's an important catch for Damian Horish. His championship debut today. And now John Toner. He opened the Armagh account. He's been the regular free taker over this last few years. About 40 metres out to the left. That's a lovely kick by Toner. Beautifully picked out and beautifully flighted over the bar. Great block. Ball had gone out, says the linesman. So this is just where Martin Toy scored from a few minutes ago. He's obviously going to try it again. Not quite as accurate on that occasion. And that looks like a 45-metre free. So as the sun appears briefly here at Newry, there's a chance for John Toner to bring the sides level. And he does it in style.
It's a tremendous help in a championship game when you know that you have got a free taker as accurate as John Toner on board. That's a 50-metre free and it would have cleared 70.
Through the middle she goes in towards Whitnell. Rafferty's doing a good job on McCartan to date, but you can't let that man go for even a second. Grimley. Beautiful strike by Grimley over the bar, and that's Armagh back into the lead again.
Settled himself. Very measured kick. Again, he had the breeze to help him, but still, fine kick from a big man.
Push.
Down seem to be trying to play to the wing half forwards, keeping away from the Armagh big midfielders, Burns and Grimley. It's working to a certain extent.
There's a break, and there goes McConville. He's in a rush with Collins. Oh! Too quickly. He did very well in getting to the ball, beat Collins to it, but then his judgment let him down.
Collins was sort of caught in no man's land here. Decided to come and then stayed. McConville did very well. Controlled with his right. Had far, far more time than he thought he had. Could have taken it down and finished it.
Down the middle it goes, and that's possibly why they're trying to avoid him. That was well collected by the Armagh midfielder O'Kane. He missed on the last attempt, but he certainly didn't miss on that occasion, and that's Armagh's lead stretched to 2 points. Easy collected by Kelly, and now it's Down's turn. Blaney, one of the few men in this team to have played in the 81 Ulster final against Armagh, and towards Mickey Linden. Return pass didn't find Blaney. Jarlath Burns has fouled Ross Carr.
It's hard to know what Jarlath Burns was expected to do in a situation like that. The ball was there, a metre from him. What option had he but to play the ball? And I don't think he kicked at it. He just tried to win a block tackle. Unfortunately, Michael Greenan read it as a sliding tackle.
Gary Mason has taken over the free taking duties. This free just inside the 45-metre line and about 3 or 4 metres to the right of the post. Didn't raise it, but the chance fell for Blaney. But he put it wide, according to the umpire. And the Down forwards are certainly irate.
Just hard to know now whether that was over or not, but the umpires are there, that's their job. Seemed to be a little confusion.
Right idea, found Benny Keane eventually. Neil Smith. Midfield, centre half forward, and now centre half back. Neil Smith has certainly made his presence felt in these games. Well collected by Toy. He's been fouled by Barry Breen. And well into injury time in the first half. We have another chance for the free taker, John Toner. 3 points he scored to date. This free about 30 metres out, about 20 metres in from the sideline. Allowed for the breeze, allowed too much, and it goes wide.
Armagh probably could have done with that point there, just approaching the break. The 2 points they have as the advantage is not that much with that breeze. They found it very difficult to score with that swirling breeze.
So Micheál Greenan draws the first half to a close. One which began very brightly for Down. They had the benefit of a brilliantly taken penalty by Mickey Linden, but as we turn round to face the breeze, the Down men that is, it's Armagh who lead by 6 points to Down's 1-1. Two points the margin between the sides at the moment, but Down are now favoured by this ever increasing breeze. Eamon Burns gets the first kick in, tries to find James McCartan, but it goes over the line.
That's probably an indication of how difficult it is to play with this breeze. Using the ball is not easy, especially with that breeze.
Grimley manages to get the kick in towards Hoolan, but Jim McConville, still going goalwards, pursued, caught by Brendan McKiernan, and the result is a free. And there must have been some dispute from a Down player. Out comes the book.
After McConville went down, fouled, Paul Higgins accidentally or otherwise sort of stumbled over him, pushed him further to the ground.
McQuillan. Good tackling by the Down attack. Now it's Linden again. Skids off the surface. Still manages to get the kick and a pass into Mason. Mason tries the shot. And from that distance and that angle, that is a brilliant score. It's a good kick in. Only succeeds in finding Eamon Burns.
All four midfielders have shown their paces at different stages during the game. And in fact, there's been some fine fielding despite the conditions.
Well, we'll see if Gary Mason has learned from that last effort of his. Much better kick. And towards the goals it goes. Broken down. Greg Blaney picks it up. That's a bit of experience. They're out to Keane. Keane takes the shot. And the man who's playing On his own home pitch, DJ Kane cuts the lead back to just 1 point. Change of direction, but not a change of the colour of jersey. Which comes out with the ball. Ross Carr was fouled, and Greg Blaney give that ball to Austin, and Austin kicked it over the bar.
Now, very interestingly there, Jimmy, it wasn't Greg Blaney who was fouled, it was Ross Carr who was fouled, and Greg Blaney took the free out of his hands. Granted, Liam Austin did very well to get over the bar, but interesting refereeing decision there.
Horish fails to gather it, and Kelly fouls yet again. A case of deja vu.
Obviously, persistent fouls no longer in the rules.
So all of that means that after 2 quick frees, Cian McGurkus decided that he's going to hand the task of trying to kick this ball over the bar to John Toner, but there's a very difficult angle with this breeze blowing slightly across and into John Toner's face. That is nothing short of magnificent.
On the wrong side for John Turner. He tries to screw it with the outside of the boot and judges it to perfection. What a way to go into the lead.
That looked like yet another one. The play goes on, but Micheál Greenan has blown his whistle, and he is the man who's going to have the last word. The ball is going to have to come out to where he is.
Mickey Linden's going to have a go at this one. He's going to have a go out of his hands. He'd be the 4th man to have a potted goal for the Down team.
A wise decision it proved to be, and it's Mickey Linden, the man who scored a penalty in the first half, who brings them level yet again. Off snip it comes again. Blaney gets it to Mason. Mason gets in the kick and puts down back into the lead. So a lot more urgency from Brendan Tierney. But there's a foul in there, as there has been so many times today. And that slow release from Martin McQuillan means that the free has been moved up. And Ross Carr should find that this could be well within his range, just about 3 metres outside the 45-metre line. And this could stretch Down's lead even further, and it does just that. Martin McQuillan, there's no way he's going to get past. Micheál Greenan checks that watch again. And towards a corner forward position it goes. Brendan McKiernan can only kick it over the sideline. So will this be the last chance for Armagh yet again? And towards that crowded goal mouth it goes. A fist goes to it. Guy Mason gets a good pass in. Rafferty punches it away from McCartan. A sideline for Down. Damian Burns gets the kick in. Dean Smith does well to get under pressure. All of that, with 7 minutes of injury time played, Down certainly get revenge on Armagh for the defeat last year at the semi-final stage. 1-7 to Down, 8 points to Armagh, and it's Down who go forward into the Ulster semi-final.
Down won this game because they were fit to contest the aerial power of Armagh in the middle of the field, and despite the fact that they went into the game without a recognised free taker and very nearly paid the penalty, they got enough scores on the board. Well done, Down.
And there's the revised championship draw. Down will play either Derry or Monaghan in the second semi-final on the 30th of June. It's Donegal, Fermanagh in the first semi-final. Fermanagh Donegal then, and the other one you can see. The man of the match was Greg Blaney, selected as always by the Ulster Gaelic writers, and what an excellent game he had. And there's a reminder of our choice for the championship, and you can see how the reputations of the mighty have fallen, like Sean McCaig, who went for Tyrone, and Jimmy Smith, who went for Armagh. This is not a smug grin. Owen McConnon was on the spot after the match, and he talked to both of the managers.
Peter, many congratulations, and this must be sweet revenge for last year's defeat.
Well, yes, obviously the important thing is to win, and I felt sorry for all the players today because there was an awful lot of tension in the game. In this area, this past couple of months, there's been an awful lot of talk about the game, a very, very high pressure build-up, and I think both sets of players today maybe suffered as a consequence of that.
Paddy, commiserations. I might suggest to you that your territorial advantage in the first half, that you didn't use it perhaps to your best advantage.
I would have to agree with you there. I think in the first half, and particularly towards the latter part of the first half, we had a lot of possession and we should have got a few more scores. I think Down hit us with the goal very early on, and we had to claw our way back into the game. But I thought in the last 10-15 minutes of the first half that we seemed to own the area around the middle of the field, but we didn't turn that into scores.
Now, Peter, you're through to a semi-final. You're facing either Monaghan or Derry. Do you have a preference?
Well, it's something over which you have no control. There's no point in even having a slight preference. Saw Derry beating Tyrone in Armagh 3 weeks ago, and Derry showed a lot of character that day and a lot of resilience. And, you know, I would have a healthy respect for either Derry or Monaghan.
Well, it's time now to bring in Sean McCaig. And Sean, do you feel Donegal will see any threat from any of the other counties? They've seen all but one of them playing now.
Well, I'd have to say, Mark, that Donegal probably would have preferred an Armagh victory today. While neither side were very competent looking in the conditions today, I think Donegal's record against Down is such that they would have preferred that Down were out of the championship. That's just a personal opinion.
Well, Armagh had the wind in the first half, but it was Down who scored the only goal of that half into the wind, and in the end it probably proved fairly crucial.
Yes, in the final analysis it did. You see, Armagh dominated play, as you say, and Paddy made that comment in his interview there. While they were on top, they didn't take the scores they should have. And in any game of 70 minutes, you will only dominate for part of the game. And when they were dominating the game, they didn't take the scores. They paid the price for that in the end. The penalty was a crucial factor. A very well taken penalty it was. But that was only one of two scores that Down got in the first half. And it left them in a strong position at half-time. They were only 2 points behind facing the Breeze. So for them, it was a good half-time score.
Did you feel it was fairly clear-cut in terms of it being a penalty?
Yes, it was one of the better moves of the game. Actually, there were very few good moves, and I felt it was. When the player fell, the goalkeeper seemed to foul him as he was on the ground. So I don't think there was any option. The referee, he was quite close to the play at that stage, and he could see that it was clearly a penalty. You'll see it again in slow motion. Well, the first tackle was a shoulder. The goalkeeper pounced at this stage and didn't give the player a chance to get back on his feet.
The goalkeeper almost mugged him there, but definitely a penalty. The strike, though, the score itself was excellent.
I thought it was brilliantly taken. I like penalties that are struck very hard, and Mickey Linden certainly, he picked his spot and he blasted the ball before Brenton Terry knew the ball was behind him. And you know, that's the type of penalty just that is unstoppable. Brenton Terry did well. He tried to narrow the angle by stealing a few yards off his goal line. He moved out when he shouldn't, yet he still didn't make it narrow enough because Mickey's shot was so hard he just couldn't move in time.
Nice shot that too from the end goal.
Yes, fair
camera.
Yes, yeah, cameraman scores again.
Plenty of possession, Armagh, in the first half. Not enough points.
No, it's a fact that the Armagh forward, the 6 forwards who started, I don't think any of them scored from play. They depended on their free taker, John Toner. It was strange that of the 12 forwards who started today, only one, Gary Mason of Down, scored 2 points from play. None of the other 11 scored from play, so that's a unique record, I suppose, in any championship game. It indicates maybe that defences were on top. It was that type of game where I felt prior to the game that we would have many goals in the game because the conditions were very slippery and there would be many mistakes, but the defences came to terms with that and they made very few mistakes.
Not a good game all round. There was a very interesting incident towards the end of the match that Peter McGinnity spotted in his commentary. He also had a bit of a go at the referee after that, and the referee perhaps made a mistake here.
Yes, well, you know, I suppose it would be fair to say that the referee would need a computer to spot everything. Ross Carr was fouled and the referee gave the free, and while Ross should have taken the free from his hands, Greg Blaney, he took it, and it was a crucial score actually. It was an equalising score, and the referee prior to that had given a throw up when Greg Blaney had committed a similar offence in the first half. He took a free they shouldn't have taken. So you win some, you lose some. Greg was penalised the first half. In the second half he wasn't. So technically he shouldn't have taken the free, and I suppose in fairness to the referee, you can't remember all the things that you should remember on the spot.
Finally and briefly, what did you feel of the referee's performance?
Well, it is easy to criticise the referee's performance from the studio maybe, but Micheál himself, when he sees the game again, won't be satisfied with his performance. I don't think he applied the rule of common sense right through. It was very slippery conditions. It was very difficult for players to judge when they could pull out of tackles. We had far too many fouls, and the referee wasn't responsible for the number of fouls, but he could have let some of the things go. I'm quite sure that a similar game in Croke Park, most of the niggling fouls that were penalised today would have been let go. He did book players, a lot of players, 8 or 9, and strangely there were 1 or 2 incidents maybe where he could have sent players off. So overall I don't think he'd be happy with the performance.
Okay, Sean, thanks very much.